We are Legion.
What is up, comic fam, and welcome to the Legion of Comics. It's Sunday night. That means this is at week's end, the spoiler-filled look back at this week in comics and so much more. But before we dig into any of that, check this out. Let's give a big thank you to the channel sponsors, Big Time Collectible, who sponsor the monthly Legion Loot giveaway box for the channel members. If you're in the market for any exclusive variants, high-end ratios, or placing FOC orders, check out BigTimeCollectibles.com. You can also follow them on Instagram and Facebook. And if you're looking to get any books cleaned or pressed, look no further. Check out Justin's Comics on Instagram. For as little as $10 a book, he can take care of you with some of the fastest turnaround times. He can also submit directly to CGC and CBCS. Be sure to use that promo code WeAreLegion and take advantage of that buy two, get one free offer that we have running right now. Also, a big shout out and a big thank you to the Augusta Book Exchange, where I pick up my weekly pulls. They are the keepers of my comics, the guardians of my pull box. They always make sure everything I'm looking for is safe and secure. You'll find no better customer service anywhere. If you're ever in the Augusta area, look them up, stop by, tell Paul and Donna what's up, and let them know that we are Legion. All right, let's get right to it. I'm joined tonight by my longtime mainstay. What's up, Main Squeeze?
What's up?
I was looking at some old videos today because I saw where people are starting to post that last year photo with this year photo. I'm like, let me go back and look. And I hit like the earliest at week's end. Like the very first one I did was with Finn and Kyle, and then like right after that, it was just like me and you chugging from day one, pretty much, man.
Wow, that's an honor.
Yeah,
I guess those two channels I've been on the longest.
Huh?
You and Steve both.
Yeah,
like you and Steve both have me from like not day one necessarily, but like pretty early on.
Yeah. So before I started doing anything regularly on my channel or even anything like that, it was just sporadic once in a blue moon stuff. I was already like I would hang out with you and Steve on his channel, and I think the very first substitute person like that I asked to hop on my channel, like I know Panda was on there. I think, but like when I, like right after you or something, and then you came back and it was pretty much a regular thing where you and I were just kicking it OG style.
I remember those early days of you asking people to be on the channel, and I was like, man, I really want to be on there, but like Sunday nights are a weird time, and so it took me a couple of opportunities to really like make it a regular thing.
Yeah, that time difference, man. It's I've also kind of amended like when I would go on, because I used to go on a different night of the week and earlier in the evening as well. Like I used to go on before the Two Brothers Babylon, because I would come on here, then I would want to go hang out in their chat kind of thing, or vice versa, something like that. But it moved it around, and this is just when it worked out best for scheduling and stuff. So yeah, I just thought that was pretty cool. I'm going to try to put one of those 1 year ago and now a year ago. I was trying to get a good picture of Finn because the very first little video up is me and Finn with like him sitting on the table and like me handing him books, like showing them off and handing them to him, and then just it was awesome. So I want to try to find
it was great.
Yeah, something like that. I might just have to get him to come up here and me and him just get a picture to kind of recreate it or something, just to see the difference, because that's where you really see the differences in Finn. But
yeah,
real quick, hey, yeah, dude, I can't believe he's 4. But I want to say hey to the chat real quick. We got TM Nerdy up in here. Station, brother. We are Legion. Of course, Ryan's up in there with the sups. Mr. Chip Getler, the White Shadow. Appreciate you stopping by as always. Blue Hellion Comics. What is going on? Paul Rogers himself. Hello. Well, he's not saying hey to us, but we'll say hey to him all the time. Comics Kings, dude. I'm super stoked. I still haven't had a chance to watch it yet. But hopefully tomorrow while I'm at work, I'll get an opportunity to listen. But he just had Marv Wolfman on, who is very relevant to the conversation you and I were having before we went live. So he'll spotlight it on, like, not personally, but some of his work will be spotlighted on my channel this coming Wednesday, hopefully, if I get it all done and taken care of. Jonathan, what is going on? We have the War Machine Punisher himself up in the chat. We are Legion. Mars Comics, how are you? Good evening. What is up, Comic-Cade? We got Kate up in the chat from Saturday Morning Comics. Awesome. Scrolling. We got Flash 6792. Appreciate you coming by. Trying to scroll. All right. So I think I pretty much covered everybody. If I missed you, I definitely apologize. My bad. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if an apology is in order. Flo Dameron's up in the chat. I just seen him. Boom. What is going on, Flo? How are you tonight? So yeah, I've been busy. I know normally I like to try to have a couple of things that have happened in comic-dom to kind of touch on and talk about. And I don't really know of any kind of standout news announcements, craziness, or anything.
The only thing I know, like the Spider-Man trailers and stuff, people were going nuts for that content.
Yeah, I did thumbnail that because I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it yet. But dude, I'm actually a lot more excited than I was initially with the teasing, just knowing that they're coming, just kind of seeing it all in action, despite if they nail a really good story or not. I think this is going to be amazing eye candy at the very least.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any trailers. I haven't seen any of the posters. So, it doesn't quite affect me as much. I will say, though, like, I'm really interested in the execution, but I'm very fearful of the outcome because we've been burnt by way too many movies, especially Spider-Man movies, that just, like, way overstuff themselves and you get nothing out of it, you know? But I am excited to see the presentation. I think that's going to be interesting.
And me and my wife were talking about that. The dreaded third movie where they just bog it down with villains, or the second Amazing Spider-Man where they just loaded it down and it didn't have any real clear direction or any real emotional weight to those characters because they just didn't have the time to develop them. Where this one is a lot different than all of those. These are all existing characters. They don't have to tell their stories. They don't have to explain them to you. That part's already been done. So I think that might play to its favor. And depending on how they use them, if they're all just kind of like, look how they use Shocker in Spider-Man Homecoming. He was just a throwaway character, but he was there, you know. He wasn't meant to be anything more than he was. So I'm wondering how much of this movie is really going to be heavily focused on these villains, or if they're just kind of going to be a big deal at the end or something, since we already know them. Because there's a lot in the trailer that you haven't seen, where you see Spider-Man and Doctor Strange going at it and chasing after each other and all that kind of stuff. DJ Link's in the building. What is up, man? So yeah. I don't know.
I'm interested. Like, we're starting to like kind of hit that tipping point, you know, because Warner Brothers stuff, you know, they're teeing up all the like multiverse with like old characters from different properties and things like that. So I think it's an interesting era of comic book movie that we've like kind of filtered into, you know.
Dude, I'm stoked for that Black Adam movie with them pulling in the JSA to the big screen. So now we have them on the small screen with Stargirl, where they're really they're throwing it all in there. Like, they're reaching deep into the hat for that show, which I greatly appreciate. It's untapped, unused characters. It's just every time, like, the smallest little fraction or anything of them pop up on screen, whether it be their name, hinting at it, I just freak out because, like, it's just never been done before. Like, I'm a JSA hound. I love those characters, man. But getting him on the big screen, that's going to be something to see. I cannot wait to see Hawkman on the big screen. That's going to be absolutely nuts. He was in Smallville, which was pretty ambitious for that show, you know, but he's like flying around without his wings moving and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
That was a weird casting choice. I think it was the guy who played David in Stargate SG-1, the TV show, who played him or something.
Wow.
If I remember correctly. Very odd. So he's this large Thanagarian and stuff, but it wasn't bad at all, especially for what it was. But there is I wish you would have seen the trailer, because I wanted to ask you and Chris's opinion. And Chris isn't here tonight. He's not feeling very well. He's dealing with a little headache, so he's just sitting it out. But in the trailer, you do see Spider-Man wearing a black suit. Now, it doesn't look like an obvious like Secret War symbiote suit or anything like that. It doesn't look like the one from the Sam Raimi movies. It looks like his suit, but black, and you see him hold his arm up, and you see like Doctor Strange spell stuff pop up on his wrist. You also see like a cord running down his arm. But I was wondering if it hit me today when I was talking to my pops. I wonder if we're all assuming that that's our Tom Holland in some black suit for whatever reason, or if that itself might be a multiverse Spider-Man. Everyone's expecting Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield to pop up in this movie from the Spider-Verse, but it didn't dawn on me till today that what if we get other Tom Hollands from the Spider-Verse as well, from in the multiverse? It doesn't necessarily have to be a different actor. We can get more versions of Tom Holland. There we go. Kate's helping out. It's the integrated suit. Can you please break that down for me? I'm not sure what that means. I know that is that what it's called on the pop? Because I know that there's already been a pop made for it, but what does it mean? Like, what is that? Is it our Tom Holland in that integrated suit? What is it integrated with? Just the Doctor Strange magic, or? But it looks nuts. The movie looks nuts. Electro, I'm sure you know the villains that are listed in it at this point. Doc Ock is in there, Green Goblin, Electro, Sandman, and it is Jamie Foxx's Electro. They did something really cool with him, and they simplified him where he was in a weird.
Yeah, I heard they changed him.
Yeah, he was in a scuba suit, and he was painted blue for the Amazing Spider-Man film, but in this new one, he's like in an all-black suit with kind of just like minimal amount of gear or tech surrounding him. And when he fires up his powers, he does this really cool thing where you see electricity cover his face, but it covers it in the shape of his original mask, which was more or less just a star on his head with lightning bolts instead of straight armor.
Oh, that's cool.
So
sort of like a Green Lantern?
Yeah, almost like he has a construct around him. So there's what the on the far right there is what the new Electro outfit looks like. And you see on his face, you can see the electricity kind of shaping out a mask, where when he's not fired up, he's just regular old looking Jamie Foxx in the suit. Yeah. The suit is altered by Doctor Strange is what he's thinking. I believe it has to do with sending the villains home. It may be an anchor to the dimensions, unclear. Those are both good theories. Like that's the suit that he has to wear at the big bye-bye. But yeah, I'm excited for it nonetheless. The tickets all go on sale what used to be known as Cyber Monday, which is the Monday following Black Friday. Black Friday being the day after Thanksgiving. So Cyber Monday is the Black Friday, but for internet sales. It has now been deemed Spidey Monday because that is the day that the Spider-Man tickets will go on sale. And I didn't make that up. I'm just kind of poking fun at it because in the actual trailer that I watched, the day that the new trailer dropped, it said, tickets go on sale Spider Monday. I'm like, what the hell was that? You can't invent a thing and expect us to already know it. You got to give us some clues here. So this past Friday during the community hangout, I had to look it up and everything and confirm that it is in fact December, whatever it is, that Monday right after. Maybe it is December, it's still November. November 29th is now Spider Monday. So that's when tickets go on sale for the movie that drops the 17th of December. Jade Q, what it do? What's going on? So I'm planning on trying to get those tickets on Spider Monday and hit up a Friday daytime showing to try to go when there might not be as many people still in work and school, all that stuff. So hopefully it will be bananas.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm planning on taking Finn. He loves some Spider-Man. He's 4 now. He just turned 4. He should be good. If he could go sit through Paw Patrol, almost, he can sit through this almost.
Yeah.
You planning on seeing this one on the big screen, or you going to hold off?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't made any plans to see it, but it's definitely one that I'm interested in seeing. So, probably.
Well, I'm definitely excited because, of course, that Sunday afterwards, I love to do a spoiler-filled, just hang out with whoever's seen it. And, yeah, I know you don't really care too much about spoilers a lot of the times. I don't know where you stand on this one, but I know that we're running out of movies that are going to be streaming same day as the year's wrapping up. So I know that we still have Matrix that'll be streaming same day on HBO Max. But beyond that, I don't know of any other big movies I would be hyped for that I get to stay home and watch.
When does the new Matrix come out?
Took the 16th and 17th off to watch it twice. Yeah. You can always watch it once, save that extra ticket money, and just watch any of those bigger channel reviews that are allowed to show content clips and breakdowns that smaller channels get strikes for. Get all the details there. Matrix Resurrections. Boom, boom, boom.
I recently rewatched the first one with my son, and that was an experience, to be able to experience that movie through a 13-year-old's eyes. Like, it's kind of weird because he doesn't understand, and then I'm having to like kind of update it. So I'm like, it's sort of like the Oasis.
So watch the second one then, because that's the one where they go off the rails with the philosophical stuff. But I love it. I absolutely love it. So as soon as when we did that. Whenever the first trailer dropped, and it was like the thumbnail for the night, I went and watched all three of them again. I've watched them countless times at this point. I love those movies. I think the movie's going to be fun. I have low expectations, but also feel like I know the majority of how it will play out. I enjoy the fact that Tom will have this care to not let the villains die. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that, if you look back on it, like Green Goblin killed himself. Spider-Man jumped out of the way of the glider. He hit himself. Doc Ock, he redeemed himself in his own movie and saved the day by taking down the fusion reactor. Sandman didn't die. Harry died fighting Venom, and saving Spider-Man. Spider-Man has killed nobody in his movies. He's always tried to preserve them, which I think has been really good writing at that. Lizard didn't die in Amazing Spider-Man. Goblin definitely died in Amazing Spider-Man 2. No, he didn't die. He was in the after credits even. He got yoked up, but he didn't die. Electro didn't die. No one's died. No villains have died in Spider-Man movies other than Dr. Octopus and the first Green Goblin. Yeah, but that's definitely a good point. That's going to be awesome seeing him running around trying to save them. My son and I are going to watch The Matrix and Leather Dusters. Isn't that the only way you can watch The Matrix?
Right.
I was just under the assumption the TV work if you don't.
Required dress.
But also, I dislike that Tom Spider-Man has now fought 2 Iron Man revenge-seeking villains and now a Sinister Six that he's never met. Yeah, that's that MCU bogged downness that I get tired of. Is everything has to be centered around Iron Man, or you just can't let an own character have his own stuff anymore. Either way, it'll be fun, and I'll probably buy it. I've collected every Spider-Man movie so far. Yeah, I'm the same way. Eddie did die in Spider-Man 3. Yeah, Eddie did. Yeah, he definitely went boom boom. Yeah, he was jumping back for a symbiote after Spider-Man saved him. He hit all the steel rails, pulled him out, threw the bomb, and then Eddie ran and jumped back in on his own. Yo, Chip, the integrated suit isn't the black and gold suit with the strange powers. It's a hybrid suit between his regular suit and the Iron Spider.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think Electro died. That's one of those villains that's kind of like Ultron. Like you can say he died, but
him for a while, but he's gonna.
He just kind of dissipates. And I don't remember Electro dying. I know that they overloaded him and all that, but he's one of those people that can just go into it. And I thought New Goblin was at the end through the end credits because I remember him getting yoked up by the strings, but I could have sworn that the dude with the hat, didn't he go walk and see him in the end credits or something? I'd have to go back and watch that one again.
Yeah.
What is going on, Ruben? The power levels on his head dropped to 0. Yeah, I don't think it I don't know where they were thinking that, but that was the thing for him to have. The fact that is a 100% factual statement lets you know they went in a weird direction. The power levels on his head.
Sounds like you beat a boss at the end of a Super Nintendo level.
Yeah, I got you, Cade. Yeah. Yeah, he died taking one for the team. Yeah, I'm not saying that the villains didn't die, just not at the hands of Spider-Man.
Yes, sir.
Yep. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for it. I don't know. It's not one that I'm most excited for out of the slate of stuff that's up ahead. It's definitely what I'm most excited for this year. I think it's the only thing left. Choices were made during the Hanson. Yeah, they were. What is going on, Steve? It's definitely morphin' time. It's always morphin' time. As a matter of fact, we have a Power Ranger book on the list for tonight, I think.
Yeah.
I have a hard time keeping up with when those books come out, and I don't have one in hand because I haven't picked up any of my Indies or Marvel books for this week. But I had a big reading list for this week. Let's see. I'm going to go through what I picked up. We can start reviewing some books, my man. You down?
Yeah, let's do it.
So that Nice House on the Lake dropped this week. So that's the only book that I picked up the A and B cover for, but that was stellar. Like they handled that really well. Justice League number 69 with that Justice League Dark backup story in it. Batman 117, which was the main Batman title finale for Fear State. Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 5, the controversial Kiss issue. Suicide Squad, number 9. Superwoman's Woman of Tomorrow.
Supergirl.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And then I picked up these 4 issues out of recently added backstock. Superman Up in the Sky 1, 2, 3, and 4 out of 6. So I still have to find issues 5 and 6. And what that is Tom King's Superman miniseries that he did a while back that I didn't read. So I'm going back and trying to pick it up. I read that first one, and it is amazing. I was really, really impressed with it. Do you have any floppies for this week?
Nuh-uh.
All right, well, then real quick, I also read Nightwing Digital, Dark Ages 3 Digital, Primordial Digital, which I'll pick up later, Ether Rich 4, and Chicken Devil number 2, and Power Rangers number 13. So I actually read a handful digital this time.
Yeah, I think I read most of those as well. Did you read Aquaman: The Becoming?
I did not. I'm like 2 issues behind on that now. You can go ahead and spoil it for me, though. That's it. That's the whole thing.
No, there's only 3 issues out.
Yeah, I'm 2 behind.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those series, like, I'm getting to know the character. There was, like, some good twists in this issue. So, I think it has probably been my favorite issue of the 3 so far. You know, but I don't really know Jackson Hyde, so it's kind of interesting getting to know him. I don't know how it reads for people that have, that do know about him. So
most of my knowledge from him comes from the Young Justice TV show more than anything. I don't know if you ever watched that. What kind of makes me mad now is thinking that I read Eat the Rich, but haven't caught up on that. That just makes 0 sense.
I haven't read the new Eat the Rich, so
man, it was dumb.
How'd it go? I want to know about this one.
Starts out with old girl just kind of reminiscing since the last issue. The house dynamic with her interwoven in it is just par for the course. Everything's great. She's hungry and can't get enough because she ate that human meat. Now she's craves it. That's all that will fulfill her. She goes to talk to Aster, her husband or boyfriend, whatever, and they just seem distant. They don't get along, but that's because he doesn't know what she really feels. And long story short, this whole time she's in love with that maid that she met in the first issue. So she goes down on the beach and they have a cryptic conversation. It's just 2 people being cryptic with each other for the sake of flirting, and then they make out on the beach, and all these stupid word bubbles pop up everywhere. She's such a good kisser. Aster's never kissed me like that. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Blah blah. So she's in love with the maid, not Aster. And then she comes walking up from the beach, and Aster's dad is trying to stop a maid from quitting early before her contract's out because that maid needs to move her son closer to a hospital. So she says, I have to quit. I have to get him there. I can't help it. I'm sorry. So he pulls a machete out of his jacket pocket to kill her. And Joe tackles him and tells her to run. So Aster's dad chases Joe all through the house around everybody who's not making any, doesn't care at all about it. Aster's talking to his friend and his mom. And they're like, hey, here comes Joe, who's running, screaming, help me, with his dad chasing her over the machete. He goes, oh, hey, Joe. And he gets down on one knee and opens a ring, says, will you marry me? And that's how it ends. It was the dumbest thing I read all week.
Wow. That sounds awful.
No one cares that he's chasing her with a machete. It's like people don't even see it happening. Just, hey, will you marry me? Like, it was poorly done.
Wow.
Game Titan, what is going on? I'm from the UK, and I'm glad we get to see Spider-Man No Way Home earlier than Americans. Yeah. Yeah. Well, shoot, hop on here and let us know how it goes. So I go live every Friday and just kind of ride out the day for as long as they let me go. And so the Friday it comes out, feel free to hop on here if you want to talk no spoilers at that point. To be honest with you, Ryan, Steve is the only person that has said this.
I could have guessed it.
Yeah. He said he wasn't expecting the twist in it. I don't know if the twist was that she was shockingly in love with the maid out of nowhere, or
Right.
I don't know what the other twist would have been in the book. That was really the only twist. But yeah, it was all over the place.
Yeah. That sounds weird.
It was. Nothing
I'm
about that
afraid
book
not
was
to watch that.
inconsistent. Yeah, I honestly think that I'm going to do something I never do and just stop reading a series when there's only one issue left.
Right?
I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. Someone else can tell me how it goes.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to finish out the last two, but sounds like it's not even worth it.
I'll tell you what is worth to pick up every week, and that is Supergirl, Woman
I
of
was about
Tomorrow.
to bring that book up.
Ooh, this was a good issue.
This is probably my read of the week, man. This issue was so good.
Drop. Steve swinging for the kneecaps.
Right?
So what Bert's trying to say, Game Titan, is you're welcome for doing absolutely. We contributed zero to the film other than
Right,
buying
shot in
tickets
Georgia, right?
ones, but oh, cool! I see it. You got a lot of them. Yep. All right. Well, give me 5.
I'm hungry.
I'm sorry. Go to bed. Go. I know. Love you. I love you. Oh. Bye. Bye. Trying to get him back into a regular routine. Night, night.
Yeah.
He's into this weird thing of trying to skip dinner and eat late. Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking when I said that. Like, Moana is like, I don't know how it happened, but one of my favorite Disney movies ever. Like, it's just a great movie.
That's a
But yeah,
good
Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. What did you think?
one. Man, I enjoyed this one. I thought it was really good. I like the way
Kate on the rebound. Nice. I'm sorry.
I like the way the story was told in this issue. I love the way the narration's handled. I love Ruthie's voice. Like, it comes through clear as day. It tells the story. And then, like, the fact that it was just, like, this really intense story of somebody else getting to protect Supergirl. I thought it was, this was a standout issue, man. I really love this one.
I thought it was a really dynamic issue. It didn't just show you Ruthie's voice, like how determined she is. Like,
Yeah.
it's really showed. This was a great issue to show you how much she's growing from the time that we first meet her. As kind of like just like not helpless, but completely unexperienced with how big the universe is around her. You know, she's none the more wiser to anything past her own little bubble. But this issue, like, there's so much character growth in this. Just that sheer determination she brings with her, and that savage, no quit spirit. I mean, after this, she's literally fought monsters.
Yeah.
To save one of the strongest beings in the universe, like, that's laying there helpless. I mean, it was impressive.
Yeah. I really like this, and the moment, like the issue whenever Supergirl flies into the sun.
Yeah.
Like those two issues have really just blown me away by like how deep Tom King is really digging into the character in this book. You know, it's intense, man. Like it was an intense read. I like the way that it's like timed out and everything. The way, you know, Supergirl is actually kind of funny in this, despite the incredibly dire circumstances. You know, and she's just like, oh yeah, like, you know, Kal-El made it, so like I can make it too. You know, she's like, well, how long did he make it? And she's like, 15 minutes. She's like, we got like 4 hours. You know, so like it was, I don't know, it was just like really good character exploration for, you know, I think Supergirl like 2 issues ago, I think that was, and then in this issue we really got a lot of Ruthie and who she is and how she's developing, you know.
The artwork continues to be stellar. Everly's doing a banged up job with pencils. The colorist just works well with this penciler. I do think it's odd how anytime they draw Supergirl's hair, she always just, like the top of her head is drawn straight across.
Yeah.
Like but it still plays well. I look forward to every issue at this point that they drop. It's been consistent from the start.
There's what, like 8 issues, right?
Yeah, we got 3 more, 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah. This one, I don't know. This series is starting to quickly become my favorite Tom King thing at the moment. Human Target was really good too, but I don't know. Supergirl has definitely been a standout for me, so I'm excited for more of that. Did you check out Chicken Devil #2?
I did. I loved it.
I was surprised. I really thought this was going to be the one that would lose me on this, but it came in pretty solid. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it pulled off another like surprising moment. Like that last one had the big shocker moment. This one had another one. So this series is doing a great job of like there's not even thin ice under my feet. There's like no ice under my feet. I don't even know where to stand with this issue. Like what's the safe ground to read from? Like I feel like nothing is safe. Like they slaughtered his family out of nowhere in that first issue. The man lost everything. He's down to just him and his friend, and he can't trust his friend. So there's already that sense of nervousness trying to deal with him and figure out how to navigate. Yeah, he's trying to navigate this world that he's completely unfamiliar with the Russian mob, and where to even go from here. And he's holding all these drugs and money that is foreign to him to begin with. And he meets up with his friends, and lo and behold, in the blink of an eye, he just gets gunned down and dead. And again, they leave us on an awesome cliffhanger.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one. It reminds me a lot of like, you know, Breaking Bad or Dexter, or I don't know, like any of these like great crime serial dramas that we have gotten over the last like 20 years, you know. But it's still just like so fun and surprising. I like how they do the little like TM branding stuff on the chicken fingers, like Mitch's chicken fingers or whatever. So like there's some nice little touches there. The artwork whenever they're like moving through the backyard in the background, like I thought that was like really cool the way they were telling like dual stories there. So it was an impressive issue.
Yeah, I had a blast with it. I love the pacing of it too. Like so far with that first one, it wasn't slow at all, but I like how they spent just enough time that was needed, just enough to introduce characters just for the sake of killing them. And now in this issue, you're just moving. Like it was perpetual motion through the whole issue. So that was made it a quick read. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. What do you have next on your list? You're going down the list. What do you got?
What's up with Dark Ages? What'd you think on this third one?
Oh, it was good. It was really good. It was shockingly good.
This might be my favorite of the 3 as well. Like,
I like when you have a big hoorah moment just to have it turn around and spit in your face. They did that a lot with death metal and metal, like the whole rallying of the troops and everything. We got a plan, let's go, and then it just falls flat instantly.
Right.
Like I love that. But quick synopsis, you know, that they're just sitting around reminiscing, thinking, looking on the events of the missing Tony Stark, and they kind of do a quick little look around and figure out that vampires were involved, and they realize that Mystique was involved, and they get word that they know where to look. So they send Quicksilver, the fastest person, to get in and out to go check out the place and see what's up with Stark, and it goes south really quick.
As Quicksilver often does.
Yeah. He goes speeding into Apocalypse's pyramid and immediately gets stopped. He runs into a defense measure set in by, I think it was Dr. Octopus, if I'm not mistaken, because he sees that his father is being used as a human battery in a Faraday cage or whatever, and it hits him in the heartstrings. So instead of getting in and out, he attempts to go up there and grab his dad, and it gets him. So you don't know what happens, but they make the comment, do we throw him in the jail cell? And Apocalypse says, no, let's send him home. And the next time you see him, he's speeding back into the safe camp with purple glowing eyes where the purple man has infected him and sent him with commands. And just as quick as he runs in, he starts spinning heads around backwards, grabbing spears, and he stabs the Human Torch straight through the chest. And then Jean Grey finally stops him, but not before Johnny Storm dies in a very dramatic fashion. So it looks like the team is rallying all together and getting ready to go storm Apocalypse's castle in an emotional rebuttal to what they did to Pietro. So it played out well. It was, again, great dialogue work in it. The characters intertwined very well. The artwork was good. And, man, it just had those shocking moments. It did good building the story. We find out that Apocalypse has been up to this for at least 4 years. That's how long Reed and Franklin have been missing, and they're now known to be alive. But, yeah.
Yeah, whenever Sue found out that Reed has been alive, he's over there working, building stuff for Apocalypse, she lost her mind.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed that when they were all sitting around in the beginning when everything was peaceful, when it was like Luke Cage, Peter, and Johnny, if you looked at Peter had his Spider-Man suit on, but he had his mask off and it was laying down on the back of his shoulders. I don't know if you noticed the spider mask on it, but it almost looked like an old-timey scuba diver helmet with just a circle on for a face hole.
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering about that whenever I saw it. That and like the web shooters, they look so big and
yeah, they're mechanical, all school mechanics. What is going on, Pop's Attic? Austin LeMay hopped in here. What's going on?
Interesting though. I mean, why does he need a mask in, the after time?
Yeah, it was done very, very dramatically as well, Cade. Like Sue walks up to her brother who has a hole in him and is just like all of this inner fire energy is just flying out of him, and she just falls down on her knees right in front of him and holds his hands while he explodes and just force fields herself and everyone around him. But it was sad, man. It really was. So I don't blame you with that at all. Because the
way they leave Pietro's legs outside of the circle.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did not notice that.
Oh man, like he's like laying on the ground, on his face, and so like his legs are outside of the circle that Sue puts them all in, and it's just like all ash.
I did not notice that.
So his legs would be, it's just like burn marks and all ash.
So he's done for. So his running days are over. He's gonna look like Bolt from Suicide Squad with you. Oh man! Did you read Suicide Squad?
Yes, I did.
So Amanda Waller is still gathering all the pieces she needs for her big grand plan of leaving this Earth and setting up shop on another Earth. So this book has been formatted really well. They do like 2-3 issue little mini arcs, and where they kind of are after a certain person or a certain thing. In that last issue, they just wrapped up their time in the literal hell, trying to get their hands on something out of the Rock of Eternity. Now Amanda Waller is sending a team to Oa, the home planet of the Green Lantern Corps, to retrieve something as well.
And they also went and got somebody in the ocean.
Yeah. So what do you think of this issue?
I liked it. I thought it was cool. Like, I kind of hit this point where I'm like, we've seen so much connected continuity, and I've been reading like all the books that they've crossed so far. So I was kind of at this point where like I think we're out of like other books to dabble in, and then they're like, oh, here's a reference to the Green Lantern book and another book, and it's like two things I'm not even reading from DC. I was like, oh yeah, now I feel kind of left out.
Yeah, I want to say this really serves its purpose because like I immediately was like, I need to read these 6 issues of Green Lantern real quick.
Right? I thought the same thing.
Yeah, definitely did not have time because I wasn't too excited about this current run of Green Lantern, but now like I I feel like I want to check it out, but I don't think I'll have time. But I definitely feel like I'm missing out on something because of this.
Yeah, it was really cool to see how it all played out, though. I like the like crazy. I don't like dealing with Oa and what's her name, Joe. Like her showing up, that was pretty cool. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun still, and they're still like digging into like other continuities and kind of like running the DC universe for now. So overall, I thought it was a great issue. It did feel a little like setup-y for like the next issue.
Yeah, definitely. This was definitely the first issue of a story arc. There was a lot of pure setup in this.
I thought they leaned a little, almost like too much into the Deadpool aspect of Ambush Bug.
Yeah,
Like
he was missing some of the jokes in this one where he was landing them up until
I didn't think the jokes were as strong, but I did think the visual gags for him were really good.
Yeah, real quick, go ahead and plug where people can find you and what you've been up to real quick while I go switch some stuff out for my wife real fast.
Okay. Man, where you can find me. Cool. So yeah, I've been pretty busy lately, but you can check me out on League of Comic Geeks. I rate and review everything I read there, so you can follow that. Haven't done too much stuff with YouTube. Been working a lot of deadlines, a lot of like putting things together. I don't know if you guys know this, but Black Friday is upon us, and so it is one of the best superhero movies ever made. It's definitely deserves some kind of recognition. So I've been working a lot and reading comics when I can, usually like very early in the morning before work, sometimes on lunch breaks, and then in the evening. I watched Cowboy Bebop. I've seen like 4 episodes of it. It's I don't know. It kind of reminds me of the Eternals in the sense like it didn't know what it wanted to be. It was trying to be like for 2 different audiences, and I think it kind of like doesn't really work. It falls very flat, live actiony. There's a certain sense of swagger and charisma to Spike Spiegel that just like isn't being carried by John Cho, who I think is a good actor. I like him. I always have, but I don't think he quite has like the swagger and the gravitas of Spike Spiegel, so he doesn't work on that front. They do a lot of like shot for shot stuff, so there's like a ton of stuff from the anime where you're just like seeing every single scene redone in live action, but then they kind of like take great liberties with characters, and I agree with them. Like those characters need to change because like Faye just being a piece of eye candy most of the time isn't like that strong of a character, So I totally agree with changing the characters, but it's very disjointed when they're like taking these huge liberties with characters, but on the other side they're trying to like do these shot for shot scenes and stuff, and so it just like becomes kind of cheesy and falls apart because just like Eternals, like it's trying to be for 2 different audiences, and I wish they would just pick what they're going to do. Don't stay so faithful to the anime and make those huge swings with changing the characters, or keep the characters faithful to the anime and just do like a shot for shot remake of the anime, So I don't know. It falls very flat for me.
Said she didn't know you were on League of Comic Geeks. She's going to follow you, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm always grateful for the follows. Yeah. I think that'll put me up to 8. So, that's building up pretty good, pretty fast.
What is that?
Since 2019, so. Man, I watched some of Red Notice. That movie with
Still haven't seen it yet.
With Black Adam and
Wonder Woman
and Deadpool.
Yeah,
it's pretty much exactly what you think it is. I mean, that's not an indictment. Like,
yeah, is it funny?
Yeah, it's got its humor.
I would expect that buddy cop dynamic to be good. The best buddy buddy cop dynamic that I've seen was with The Rock and Jason Statham in that Fast and Furious spinoff. The movie was just off the reservation, but their comedic duo was amazing. Like that was just a joy to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually surprised. Probably my favorite of that trio in this was Gal Gadot, because she's actually pretty like energetic and engaging in this movie. So she didn't look like she was about to faint if she didn't get a strawberry or something. So, she was pleasing. I'm kind of getting burnt out on Ryan Reynolds. You know, I've been watching him for like 20 years now, and I'm just like, yeah, you're exactly everything that you're expected to be. You know,
It's Van Wilder.
yeah. So that like waiting, like the early stuff, man, like that's when he was funny. Now it's like I feel like I've heard all these jokes. Now you're just like plugging and playing. And then The Rock is The Rock. You know, like there is absolutely nothing surprising about his performance, but he's a pretty decent actor, so you don't get bored with it either. You know,
Dude, he's just enjoyable to watch in anything. I still watch the heck out of Jungle Cruise. Love that movie. Until he comes out with his next family movie, then I'll be hooked on it, I'm sure.
Probably.
I'll tell you what I'm not hooked on, and that's Tynan's Batman. I'm so thankful it's over. This was it. This is it, guys. This was the last Tynan Batman issue.
Did it feel like a final issue, or was it just like that thing?
It was no, it definitely did not. Like this was slated as the finale to Fear State. This is not the finale to Fear State. This was like, if you mean, this is not the final Fear State issue. This was the big battle. But just like in any movies, after the battle, you have the cool down stuff, and we have that coming as well. This coming week alone, I think we have the Harley Quinn Fear State tie-in and another Fear State tie-in book that have to
Catwoman.
Yeah, Catwoman. Yeah, that they still have to be told before we're all said and done out of it. And I bet those books, the events that take place in them, take place during this even. Not to mention Detective Comics is next week, and it's a Fear State tie-in, as well as the way that this all started was the Fear State Alpha. It was a one-shot to get the ball rolling. There is a Fear State Omega, which is the bookend of it. So we still have to deal with this crap for a little while longer. I'm assuming that the Omega is going to come out not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. And then we can finally get into some good Batman stories again. Yeah, I agree. It was, it was fun to read the fight with him in Peacekeeper 1, but everything outside of that, which is the meat, the potatoes of the story, were non-present at all. And just, I don't know, like I think Tynan just doesn't need to do anything but indies, because really where he writes from, there's nothing wrong with it if you're not doing stuff that's established, if that makes sense. Like he's coming from a place in his own perspective that works in his indie titles really well because he's creating it. It doesn't have a history behind it that you have to carry with it, and he's not good at that. He's just not. It's not that he's writing bad stories. He's just not writing good stories. It's unrecognizable as Batman. It's been unrecognizable as Batman for a while now, and the Neon Fever Dream is over. Like I've been saying, it's a Tron Legacy Neon Fever Dream, and it is over. But
the cover for Williamson's first issue though doesn't look that different.
It looks a lot different. The artist is different. We're getting like almost these painted style covers. His suit has changed. They're putting the yellow back on his chest, and they're getting him the hell out of Gotham for a while. Like they are doing a total palette cleansing.
Yeah, but they have a new villain, and this new villain looks an awful lot like Ghostmaker with scythe instead of swords.
Yeah, I'll give you that, but throwaway villains.
Otherwise, like it looks like they're about to do the same thing over again.
I don't know, because I've looked a little bit ahead, and of course, you're seeing familiar Bat family faces, which is like seeing that all over the cover of the books. These familiar faces, new characters are great. It gets tired. You don't want to read the same old all the time. But right now, that same old is much needed right now. Like so bad. I don't know. Like throwing in a new villain, I don't think that's a bad idea. The character design on him. He looks like a mixture between Ghostmaker and Scarecrow all day long, which is kind of funny. But his name's The Abyss. I'm excited for him. As a matter of fact, channel sponsor Big Time Collectibles had that BTC exclusive that they did. It was a BTC edition. Thank you, buddy. And what that is that means that it's a limited to 300 copies. Only can get it in a pre-graded 9.8, and there's sequential numbering on the labels as well as a custom label. So they had an exclusive from Miko Suyon, and that'll be the first issue of Williamson's run as well as the first appearance of that character. So I do have that coming. I'm excited about. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. I guess I'm going to put it up here. We got Ignacio up in the chat. What is going on?
Speaking of the Bat family, did you read Nightwing?
It was worse than Batman was.
It was worse than Batman.
How do you follow someone on League of Comic Geeks?
Woohoo!
How do you follow someone on League of Comic Geeks?
You just go to their profile and there's like a follow button.
How do you find their profile?
Well, I got this awesome link. Watch.
Is that the link you dropped in here earlier?
Yeah. I just dropped it again.
I'll pop up in a second on my end.
Slow.
I didn't know.
So, like, in Nightwing,
I noticed that there is a community tab in there.
uh-huh.
You'd have to put it in the private chat. I can't click it from there.
Oh, what? That's crazy.
Yeah. You have to create an account to be able to follow. Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll do all that later then. Or I'll do it now. I found you. Yeah. But I wonder how I would. So people can just see like what you're. You're doing like reviews and stuff on it.
Yeah, like I usually review every book I read. You can build like a pull list and stuff, so you can see what's coming up. And
bro, when I thought like building the pull list means you were ordering stuff from this website.
No, you can do that too, though.
So yeah, I need to do that because that'd be a good way for me to keep track of the digital stuff.
It automatically sorts like by week.
Wow,
so like you go into new
my
comics and you can see like everything that's coming out, and you like add it to your pull list. So then when you go to the pull list tab, you just see by week like what books are coming out that you're keeping up with.
Dude, that can make life so much easier. Why are you just now telling me about this? This is definitely your fault.
I thought this was a well-known thing.
Yeah.
Man, okay, so in Nightwing, it's its own platform.
It's a website. I'm sure he knows what it is. I can't imagine Tyler doesn't know. League of Comic Geeks is the website that the majority of people that I know especially go to look at what's coming out each week because the way that it's laid out and presented is so user-friendly. It shows you week by week. It shows you the covers. You click on them, see all the variants coming out, synopsis, who's writing them and stuff. And apparently you could create a digital pull list to keep up with the books, to rate the books, and review the books.
Yep.
What is up aggressively relaxing? Nightwing.
All right, so in
Nightwing.
My main question is, did they go in there and like get because Nightwing was like, yo, we're gonna go in here and get Simon Saint because he's like the bad guy that's doing all of this. Yeah, and they go in there and they get to him and they're like, yo, what's up, dude? And he's like, hey, I got a gun. And they're like, forget your gun. And then they like get into an argument with that girl that's like leading Oracle on and stuff. And then they just like completely forget Simon Saint's even there, right?
For the most part, but don't forget they're making goofy faces at each other and everybody the entire time.
That's true. Oh my god,
the artwork has been atrocious for these Fear State tie-in ones.
Oh, these 3 issues are my least favorite ever. They're so bad.
I feel like Tom Taylor is punishing DC for making him do tie-ins. Wait, y'all want tie-in books? Here you go. I'm gonna write them all on a bar napkin while I'm out drinking, and that's all you get from me.
It's just like it's so weird to me. They just like forgot Simon Saint was in the rest of that book.
Yeah,
I was like, he was so
had to have him for the main title. They couldn't let him. get used up in the tie-in title. They wanted to save him. But Pocan Joe made a good point last week when I was talking with him about Rom V, how everything that dude touches is a 10 out of 10. Like, he is just phenomenal. And Joe said he wants to see him all over the place, but don't want him overused, because you get him overused, you start getting some stuff like Tom Taylor, where he's a phenomenal writer, but he's so everywhere right now. Is he going to be capable of keeping everything at that same quality level? So it looks like you took this opportunity for tie-ins to not get burned out and to just mail some stuff in, because it's been dark.
Yeah, they were.
So bad. I'm happy that tie-ins are over. That's what I liked about this Nightwing issue.
It was just so weird to me that they even put Simon Saint there. I was like, I understand they can't like stop the bad guy because that's Batman's job, but like, why did you even put him there? All you had to do was be like, yo, this chick is like messing with the Oracle's equipment, and like, you know, like Nightwing and everybody else would be like, yeah, let's go stop him then. Like, so, they didn't really justify the rest.
We had Anti-Oracle pop up a few issues ago, and basically something is taking over Batgirl's Oracle system, and we find out in this issue that it goes by the name Seer, and we actually see Seer. She's just this little angsty-looking teenage kid hiding amongst the normal people in a crowd on the streets, doing it all remotely. It's something that I'm glad I won't have to see again, because it's going to be followed up in the Batgirls series that will be starting soon, that was previewed in the back pages of some of the Batman books this week, that the artwork is also rough on the eyes, to say the least. Radio Apocalypse was so dope. Also, Ron V recently did an interview where he said he's trying to slow down on titles and wants to focus on quality versus quantity, which is good to hear, because, you know, everyone knows he just stepped into a big role at Marvel co-writing for Venom. So I was seeing mixed reviews for that all across the board. A bunch of these Donny Cates fanatics were quick to try to trash that book, when really all they're doing is trashing the work that Donny Cates created. It's like when people complain about a new president the first week on his job. Like, look, dude, you're still complaining about the past president. What is up, Marshall Lewis? How are you doing? Hey, what's up? Smiles. Sits down. Yeah. So on to some more Tom Taylor stuff. Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 5. And this one, as you see, has the Pride logo on it, because this is that controversial issue that has split people all over the board, where Jonathan Kent was reportedly coming out as bisexual in comic books, and this is the issue that really spotlights that, where him and I, for the life of me, I never can remember this kid's name.
Jay Nakamura?
I don't know. You said Jay?
Yeah, Jay.
Okay, so his letter is Jay, and apparently that's his romantic interest, but that wasn't even the important part of the book. For having such a big fanfare going into this, the important part of this book was where it starts, which picks up right where the last issue ended, with Bendix having infected Jonathan Kent with a bunch of solar rays that practically overpowered him. It has it to a point of uncontrolled. He's completely out of control with his power. So instead of just standing there freaking out, exploding, whatever, he actually shows where his dad's trained him really well. He goes into hyper-focus mode, and he starts saving the entire planet at a speed and a level which he's never done, which that was so fun to watch. Him just all over the place, just doing what a Superman is supposed to do. But he was doing it at record time and almost burns himself out, and he's instructed by the people that know him and care about him to take a breather and sit down, and he was able to do that at Jay's house. And when he wakes up, they take a brief moment to address the dangers that just happened. And then out of left field, Jay kisses him, and then they don't even address it. He's just able to hear something happen. He's like, hey, I got to go save these people from a bank robbery, and he leaves. It was really out of nowhere. It was like they determined before this series was written that in issue 5, these two will kiss, and they didn't write up to that point. They just wrote the story without it ever having happened.
He's like, all right, I'm done with issue 4, now issue 5. Oh, crap, I forgot about this note. Okay, let's write this.
Like, he wrote the book and he added the last 3 pages after it was written.
Yep. It was like, I don't know, like, I have no issue. Like, I was pretty excited for it. You know, I was like, this is going to be cool. And the way that I feel like it was kind of presented when it was, like, making the media rounds, it almost seemed like we were going to get, like, one of those, like, final full-page splashes left-hand side, like, oh, and then like to be continued. And that's kind
Yeah.
of where we were going to pick it up. And instead they went farther and didn't give the story itself enough time to breathe up to that moment. Like, I mean, it was as fast-paced once you got to that part of the issue as it was for the whole beginning of the issue, except it made sense at the beginning because he was like rushing around all over the place. So it was just like poorly played. I was really surprised how bad it was handled.
Well, sometimes first kisses come out of nowhere. It was like in one of those comedy movies when someone makes a comment about their pet dying, so they lean in for a kiss and like, wait, what? You thought that was a cue? It was like one of those moments. How did you think that this was the right time for that? Like, instead of a goldfish died. That wasn't romantic. I mean, that's exactly how this was.
Yeah, it was pretty like, it wasn't just like it came out of nowhere for the issue. Like, it came out of nowhere within the issue. Like, they're just like talking. Just like, oh yeah, now we're kissing.
If you ask the 40-year-old virgin to write a scene in a comic book where these characters make their first kiss, this is exactly what it would look like because he has no experience or have any clue on how it would happen. Pop said that he read that the new Hulk series is going to focus on the concept that the Hulk is protecting the world from Bruce Banner. That's actually a pretty cool concept because I know the solicitation for it, which I read earlier today, was talking about how like this is the Hulk at a rage level as never before, at a level the Avengers aren't ready for. But is it the Hulk you really have to worry about, or an unsuspecting person? So I guess that unsuspecting person very well could be Bruce Banner, especially the way that Al Ewing ended Immortal Hulk with Brew was on a Bill Bixby mission, packing up his stuff and leaving to go do we don't know what. So that's an interesting angle. Hopefully it'll be good, man. I'm so nervous about that series. Let me see other digital ones that I read. We touched on Chicken Devil, touched on Dark Ages, Nightwing, Ridge. Huh?
Primordial.
Oh my God, that was cool.
Right.
That was super cool. So yeah, that last issue we just focused on the Russian dog Leica and showing up and meeting up with Abel and Little Monkey. Gertrude.
I knew it till you asked. What is the name in the book in this issue? Mrs. something, right?
I don't know. I have no clue. I wish the monkey's name was Gertrude. That would be a great name for it. But Abel is the big monkey, and Miss Gertrude is not the actual name, but that's the name I'm going with for the little monkey. So it's them talking, and it's like Leica talking to them, and them not being able to understand or communicate with Leica. And you see these tendrils come down and disintegrate the monkeys because they were going to get changed. Leica told them when they came back from the big change, Abel could communicate with Leica, but Gertrude could not. And Leica said that Gertrude went through the little change, and they start communicating on where's home and have pictures of like their old owners and their old homes, and then they end with them saying, "Here's our new home." That's what's going on with the animals, and there's this huge white room with these vibrant colored structure they're looking at for their new home. It was very, very interesting. But we also get a little bit more on the people aspect in this. We catch up with our main character who's now in Russia, talking to this woman who has more information on what's happening than he does, who claims that she can trace back and find where these monkeys might be or where they went based off of radiation and signals that are basically pointing them in a direction. And we come to find out that his contact that brought him there got shot, showed up with a gun wound and died in their arms, and said they're after us or following us, or they're being chased by the KGB while they're trying to get to a point where they can go from there. I guess they're trying to reach out or something. They've went into an old satellite installation that was Werner von Braun's from the Nazi era that they refurbished and had running with a generator, but they didn't get time to fire it up for us to figure out what they're doing before the KGB showed up in a helicopter. And it pretty much ended on a huge cliffhanger. What is up, Ronnie boy? So again, the artwork continues to be the driving factor for me.
Yeah. The way that they do like the changes, they did it in the last issue and this issue, and we kind of saw it in that first issue too, where they just like take all the panels and just like disassemble the page in front of your eyes, and they like take these animals apart, and then they all like kind of like flip, all the cards like flip, and then they like put it back together, and you're just like, whoa, that's something different. And It's not even physically because they look the same, before and after for the most part. But there's just like something about their character, their personality that you just kind of see change in front of your eyes, and it's such a mesmerizing presentation for it.
So coming from somebody who does not read this book, this is right where my mind went, because there's this scene when they're giving the big change to Abel where you see all these other because there's a lot of squares, like when animals get teleported, transported, whatever's happening to them. The way that Sorrentino does the art is a bunch of squares that block off. But there's a scene where they're in the room, the big white room, and there's nothing but squares all around you, and they're all different colors. And when you look at them, it looks like a bunch of different animals. So it doesn't look like they're limited to just these three, these astronaut animals, but this is just a small part of something bigger that's been going on for a really long time. And the first thing that I thought about was genetic editing, that I wonder if they're trying to evolve them even farther. But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Mrs. Baker.
Abel, way better.
Abel, Leica, and Mrs. Baker.
We're going with Gertrude. What is going on? There's
that's kind of how the monkeys get their intelligence in Captain Simeon and the Space Monkeys.
From Gertrude?
No, from aliens doing like a big change on them.
Oh, nice. I do want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to Hoarder's Hide. He's a channel member. So he also has an awesome channel that's pumping out some of the wildest content that YouTube has to offer right now. So every night for the next couple of days at 11 p.m., he does a video premiere because he is a whacking god. And for those that don't know, Whack Comics has a $99.99 a month join tier level. And Hoarder's Hide was the first and only one to join that for 1 month, because what that tier level promised is a 30-minute nighttime serenade from Whack Comics personalized to any whacking god. So they were, I don't know if you want to say smart enough or dumb enough to make that video and send it to Scott. So what he has done is clipped it down, and he's premiering the pieces of it every night at 11 o'clock, and it is outrageous. So it's some of the most soothing and grotesque things that I've ever seen. Have you checked any of those out yet, Ryan?
No, I have not seen these.
It'll change your life, and that's just putting it mildly.
Sounds amazing.
Quick, I'm not going to spoil his content by any stretch of the imagination, but tonight at 11 p.m. this will be premiering. So far, both of them are pretty much just naked with comic book nipple tassels, singing and chirping. The last one they were doing ocean noises. It's something. He said tonight is definitely the most cringeworthy. It's going until Thanksgiving Eve. It is scary. I ran off a few of my panel last night on banter. LOL. What's funny is War Machine Comics and Collectibles. I was in one of the, because it's a premiere, so there's a live chat, so you can talk with people while it's first showing. And Jonathan's like, "Oh my God, I hope my wife doesn't walk in right now." We should take a collection to pay them to stop. Absolutely not. Absolutely. That's funny that it ran off people on the banter. I'm guessing Rob left. I don't know who all was on there. I can see Rob being like that. No, I'll be back when this is over. I could probably file a sexual harassment suit against Lee if I didn't pay them to do it. It took 5 years off my life. Yeah, it was man, kudos to them. They went all in. Hey, you running away from mommy?
You keep her.
I wonder what the next whacking god will receive as tribute. Imagine that. No, Rob stayed and loved it. Oh, man. Here, I'm not opening those. You get mommy to open them, but take your bobble here. Hold this. She's got your Pabo. Go for it. She's got your Pabo. She picked it up. She goes and jacks the gummies out of the pantry now. And if one of us says no, she runs away from us like we're trying to kill her to go ask the other one. And then just sachets out. She's funny.
Right.
Yeah. Next up, Justice League number 69. I don't think you're reading this one anymore, are you?
No, I have fallen off of that one.
Are you reading the Justice League Dark backup story though?
No, I haven't read. I haven't read in a while. I don't know.
Oh man,
how far behind I am on that.
I can't help you, baby. She took your gummies? Did she take your gummies?
Yeah.
Did she? Oh no! I tell you what. Can we eat the gummies tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We'll go lay down with mommy and we'll eat the gummies tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I love you. So, in the main Justice League story, man, right now it's a big jumbled mess of teams. So, like it's kind of tying into the Deathstroke Inc. stuff. So you have like Leviathan, Checkmate, the Justice League team, the New Planet, New World Planet Order, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
The New Planet Order thing that's kind of dying off.
New World Order of Planets.
Yeah. The United Order of Planets. But so basically, it's just kind of like just connecting in with Checkmate and Deathstroke Inc. right now, and kind of Ollie being all over the place and attached to all these different teams is kind of coming to light and kind of being a little problematic. But at the same time, he's getting pats on the back for like funding all this stuff to trying to overwork himself and do so much. But I'm most interested to see why Superman is still in this title. Superman should not be in this title anymore. So there's a little bit of continuity error, or either we just haven't caught up with him leaving Earth yet. But way to go, Poppy Mark. Appreciate that. She walked away not happy but not sad, and that's what counts.
Yeah,
But
I feel like that's part of what makes that book what made it easy to drop, I guess, is just like it doesn't feel connected to any kind of continuity. And there's a lot of good stuff happening in continuity. So
yeah, I agree, and that's tend to be where I like focus my line on is the main continuity stuff. But I'm not dropping Justice League; it's not happening. It's just not.
It's just not.
But Justice League Dark has been absolutely amazing. That last issue, we found out that it kind of became a big header between Merlin and Zatanna, like Big Mage versus Big Mage. Turns out that it was all a distraction, and he's gone down to Atlantis. The source of all magic in the DC Comics universe started in Atlantis, and Merlin's goal going down there, he finally revealed his hand that he's raising the original Mage of Atlantis from the dead to do his bidding. So he's going for the big dog. So that's where it ended with that person being raised from the dead. So I'm really excited about that. I just wish it was longer. And I would say I hope that they do a collected volume of Justice League Dark of this series, which maybe like a trade or whatever. It wouldn't be very big so that more people would grab it and check it out. But I don't think too many people trade read anyways. I mean, there's plenty of people that do, but I don't think a lot of people would go out there and grab it. But I know I wouldn't because I own it in these. But yeah.
I can't imagine it would hurt sales, though.
No. I think
even if they only sell like 100 of them or whatever a small number is for them.
Yeah.
You know, like I figure that's still pretty decent considering they're just giving it like a 10-page backup at the end of each Justice League issue.
In the wise words from Lee at Whack Comics, Killaroo doing a poo Kickstarter 2022.
You haven't been reading
over social media today. If y'all haven't seen it, go check out Whack Comics on Instagram. There's a little bit of art to go with that hashtag. Been reading.
You haven't been reading Campese, have you?
I have not, but Promiscuous Time Traveler says it's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Is that the one with like the mobsters and the dragons or something?
Yeah. Like it's this guy Patrick something. He wrote this other book called The Kaiju Score, And basically, I mean, the base level premise is like during kaiju come ashore and attack the city, right? So they attack a city in Florida. While they're doing that, this like team of heisters have put together a heist while that's happening because all the like emergency services will be distracted, right? So at base level, it's like just like merging these two like crazy concepts. But the way he does like the world building and stuff, it's just like really unique. Where James Patrick, there you go. He does like great world building where it actually like kind of works really well, because like in the kaiju score, the kaiju they come across up on shore, but they kind of know they're coming, and so it's almost like hurricanes. Where like you get these early alert systems. There's a kaiju season because they have feeding patterns, so they're following the migration of the fish and stuff. And so they tend to come ashore whenever they're migrating past Florida and stuff. So then they have like these early warning systems. They have evacuation methods. It's just like a hurricane system, but like it's a full built-out, developed world sort of thing. And then you put these characters like doing a heist in the middle of all that, and it's just phenomenal. Like it's really good. And so with Campisi, you basically have like this northeastern town that's it's sort of like a Jersey town or something. So you're kind of getting like the Sopranos,
Yeah.
It's like the whole town's kind of like controlled by the mob and run by the mob, but then there's like this ancient history of like humans and dragons sharing the earth, and like the humans got too greedy and overstepped the bounds of our agreement and stuff, and the dragons were too kind and they were slayed, and so there's very few of them left to the point where they've kind of went into hiding. And then now like this dragon at the beginning, like in the first issue, this dragon shows up and like lands in this town. He's like, yeah, I know like one of the original bloodlines that killed one of my family members or whatever is in your town, so you're gonna have to turn him over. And so like the mob, they don't want like the military and everybody coming in because this dragon showed up, because they're the mob, this is their town, you stay out. And so you like Campisi's like he's like the cleaner or whatever, like he kind of goes around and like handles all the little day-to-day bullshit so that all these big like gang wars and stuff don't break out. And so that's kind of his thing, is like he steps up as like I got to take care of the small problems before they become big problems. And so this dragon shows up and he's like, yeah, this is a small problem, I'm going to solve this problem. And so that's kind of what the series is about. And so in this issue he basically went and because like they figured out the guy that the dragon wants is basically protected. He's a made man. And so he's basically protected. So unless the mob boss turns him over, nobody can do anything. And so this dragon's going to destroy the town. And so Campisi's trying to work within the mob structure. And so, it's like watching The Sopranos or The Goodfellas or something, but there's a dragon. That's the problem.
Bringing Sopranos up.
One of us had to do it, right?
Yeah. I immediately went on to what do you call it? Boardwalk Empire. I'm on season 4 of that now, so I'm still in New Jersey mob scene. Just took it back a few decades.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, so you should be reading Campisi. It's awesome.
If I went God level, you would get some creepy videos as well, or one 30-minute creepy video. We just hope that you would share it with the rest of us like Scott has.
Right.
Chip says, great show. It is. Both of them have been phenomenal. But yeah, what issue is Campisi on at this point?
This was the 3rd issue.
So it's not far in.
No.
You're talking New Jersey and mob, and that's really all you had to say for me to think I need to catch up. It's kind of my scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's why I'm kind of disappointed you're not reading it, because I know like you would have all of that extra insight, 2 extra layers of the onion that I'm not even like hitting.
Yeah. I'm gonna definitely check that out. I want to continue reading By the Horns. I don't know if you ever read that one.
No, I still haven't checked that one out.
Yeah, I read that first issue. It was just amazing. Oh man, and also his name Chuck Brown. Is that right?
Chuck Brown?
Bitterroot.
From Bitterroot?
He was just here in Augusta, the same store that the Green Ranger came to, doing a signing within the past couple of days. I wasn't able to make it because of work, unfortunately. Like I had to jump through hoops to be able to go meet the Green Ranger. But yeah, I wanted so badly to go get that those trades you sent me signed. But Yeah.
That's what's up.
The response video would just be somebody like huddled in the corner crying, like they just watched the video from The Ring. Totally get Guido.
One like what was the video they did with you where you were like watching whenever they took your Black Widow video?
Yeah, they asked me to do a reaction video for them.
Reaction.
And they said they wanted to just take some of the footage of watching Black Widow because I was just dead that whole movie. Like, it was just not impressive. I'm like this. They worked perfectly though.
It was amazing.
Yeah, just be standing in the corner, facing the corner. So there's really only two more books I have on my list, which would be Power Rangers number 13, Stellar, and Nice House on the Lake number 6, Super Fire.
The only other book that I have that aren't those two is Khazar, Lord of the Savage Land, number 3.
Khazar.
Khazar. However you old people pronounce it.
It's Khazar. And it's Shang-Chi. I'm trying to change up Shang-Chi's name. Shang-Chi. His name's Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi.
You sound extra Georgian when you say Shang-Chi.
I mean, that's just how you say it, Shang-Chi. Up until this movie, it was Shang-Chi. Shang.
You better get out of here, old Shang-Chi.
We're working on a few new ideas, Dan, for Whacking God tier coming soon. They're really pumping that tier now. That money must have cleared. They're like, we need to spruce this up a little bit. Yeah, Lee will be here in no time with that tier. I just wish that when Lee came, it would be like at a. I know they said they want to do a convention, but unfortunately, Tyler's like nowhere near me. You're in Texas, so he's close to you, but. Hashtag geography.
Yeah, right. Learned it in American schools.
He's on your half, not my half. Yeah, Power Rangers 13 was the second installment to the Eltarian War that kicked off, which is the new big saga going on in the Power Ranger title. And once again, we have 2 series for it to crisscross between. And the premise of this series is that the planet and race of people that Zordon was originally part of has come to Earth with nefarious plans. They've been raising these ancient deities that are kind of the counterpart to the emissaries, which are like this morphological beings that are kind of the source of Power Ranger powers, kind of the red, yellow, and blue one, the primary colors. And when an emissary dies, an Imperial will rise, kind of thing. So all 3 Imperial have risen, and they are pretty much they're almost like the Galactus of the Power Ranger world. They go to a planet, they can cleanse it with fire, basically. And there's been a race against time.
Was, like Celestials.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's such a celestial moment whenever they appear in this one. I was like, oh, wait.
Yeah. So we've had the Omega Rangers off planet racing to try to get back to warn the Rangers and the people of Earth who are dealing with not just Zed, but the Eltarians and as well as Grace with the new Green Ranger. They just had their hands full, and everything kind of hit the ceiling with this one, with the Eltarians just making a full-on assault. We had the Imperial show up. They wiped out the command center. They wiped out Promethea, and they even wiped out Zed's palace on the moon, and that's kind of where they left us hanging with this issue. So we know that the Rangers are all together for the first time since this series split about a year ago, and they're still not enough. So they're going to have to pull something out of their hat and bring in some other characters. I would like to see the Solar Ranger come back, but I doubt they'll go that route since that's how they finished out Necessary Evil, with bringing Ari in and just shutting it all down. And on that note, I don't even know if Ari's powers would work with the Imperial, since they're like the opposite counterpart of the emissaries. If they're working with, like, it'd be easy to write in as like the opposite of Morphin Energy, and therefore kind of null and void to her.
Yeah, it would be interesting, but I don't foresee them bringing her back. I think if anything, they're going to introduce something new and be more additive. I feel like that's kind of what Necessary Evil and like those last 5 issues was kind of like capping, the old stuff, and like with this reboot now, like we're gonna just like be adding to and bringing in newer ideas and concepts. So we'll see what happens.
Do you think that this series might this would be a ballsy move because so much of this being successful is the fact that they're playing to the generation that like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but they have created the Omega Rangers for this series. They've been well received. Do you think that they're at a point where they might take the plunge and upgrade the Rangers to the Zeo Rangers? Because I can see it making sense, but I doubt it being a smart move, and I think they know that.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought you were about to ask if they were going to become like other Solar Rangers or something, but no, I don't know. I mean, I think it would be cool to see them transition, and I feel like Ryan Parrott has talked about like wanting to move into another generation of Rangers. But I don't know. I mean, just because like they could have moved on whenever they did Mighty Morphin, like they specifically chose to stick with the original Rangers there instead of like evolving them. So I don't know. I feel like they're really trying to keep a Mighty Morphin team around because that's what plays strongest as far as sales.
Yeah, it would be hard to sell and brand Power Rangers Zeo, but like with the branding, the actual branding that's not limited to the comic books, they like you go look at toys and the generic stuff. It just says Power Rangers with its own logo. It's like silver and the letters are kind of backlit by the different colors of the Rangers. It's not limited anymore to Mighty Morphin. But
Yeah.
I would love to see him go Zeo Ranger. And the whole concept behind them changing suits and powers and Zords is that there was a need to get more and more powerful. They were sent out to get the Zeo crystals because they had failed as Mighty Morphin Power Rangers completely when Master Vile showed up and just decimated everything. And Goldar snuck into the command center with Rito and blew it up and stuff. So it was a necessity to find the Zeo crystals to even have a power source. But I think that needs to seriously be addressed in the series. Not necessarily now, but at some point. There are other powers out there.
Yeah, and the Zeo crystals. Well, they've kind of like retconned that now because of everything they've done with the Altarians. But in Beyond the Grid, they go to get the Zeo crystals. So like
From the
there's
home planet,
that
it's hidden in the void.
Yeah, like they went to the source, So there's your endpoint to like get Ari and the Solar Rangers and stuff involved and like get the Zeo crystals involved. So I mean, there's definitely a potential out there, but I feel like they kind of retconned a lot of that whenever they did the Altarian stuff with the Zeo crystals, right?
Well, that was just a single Zeo crystal, wasn't it? That they had. It was kind of like when.
That's true. Yeah, they only had a piece of it. They didn't really have.
Yeah, that was at that point. It was something. I think that's 10,000 years ago. They had one piece of this fabled thing that they have no clue anything about it, how it or what it works. All that has changed to the point that the Zeo planet has been found. It had been tucked away in the void, but maybe introduce the Zeo Power Rangers as an extra way to power up the Mighty Morphin team, kind of like they did with the metallic armor. Dude, that would be awesome. Instead of stepping away from it, having it be an additive power. And that was pretty cool when they did those metallic armor suits when they kind of like sparkled and stuff. And even Hasbro was doing the action figures for that with the flaked armor and stuff. I enjoyed that. They only had them like that for about 6-8 episodes or something, but they used it a lot. It was really cool.
I mean, the way that they've used the Imperials and the what was the name of the ones that would like get the powers, like Garrison, Vex, Foxx, and all them?
Are you talking about the Anointed?
Empowered? The Anointed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So like that, right? Like that. It's very Dragon Ball Z the way things have went lately. The Imperials being like these super powerful beings that they somehow need to fight and stuff. Like it would almost make sense, like Super Saiyan 2 and 3 and 6 and all that, to like each additional set of armor makes them more powerful. So like they power up and fight, like the logic's there at least to like make it additional armor and power instead of just like a whole different suit and stuff.
Now, last thing I want to pick your brain about. Do you think they're going to give Zed the honor of getting the kill strike on Zorfram? Because he ain't dead. I don't think they're.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. 100, dude. Like, as soon as that scene went down, I was like, oh, yeah, he's still alive. Like, he's, what did he say right before that? Right on time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he knew that it's about to go down. So, like, I don't for a moment believe he's dead. How he comes back is going to be interesting. Because now, like, him and Zordon are both, we know neither of them are dead, but they're both not alive at the moment either.
Yeah, I've already seen future covers of Zordon. You saw how his essence is preserved in that jar. Like, he might not be in the big jar, but he's in the little jar. I've seen him wearing a human suit with that jar locked on top, like where he's about to be piloting and swinging fists here soon.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how they come back. So, I think maybe there's a good chance that'll happen.
So the last book, and I saved it for last, is that I want to touch on tonight is Nice House on the Lake, number 6, the one that really showed us more detail and gave us more answers than the previous 5 combined, and through all new theories, twists, and questions that parallel all 5 issues and beyond. What did you think of this one?
Oh, man, I was really impressed with how much we got out of it. Like, I really never thought that we were going to get that many straightforward answers at once. And it was just like, here's the mother load of information. Like, I really thought that was like where the whole series was going to go, was us making this level of a discovery. And I mean, I guess Tynan has plenty more surprises and twists up his sleeve to give away that much at once. So I'm really interested to see where it goes next,
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I thought was fascinating was during the flashback with Nora, Reg, and Walter, when they're just hanging out in the dorm room, kicking it, just talking about nothing in the world like you do when you sit too long with your buddies and have nothing to talk about. They're talking about what it would be like for the world to end. And Reg was talking about, and he likened it to Terminator 2 Judgment Day, when Sarah Connor is standing there when the bomb goes off and her skin's blown off. And he sits there and he literally architects the world ending that we saw in the beginning of this book, with everyone's skin melting off their bones and everything. And that's what all the house people saw in that first issue. But it was all done and thought of first by Reg. And that was just absolutely wild. And then another big kicker was the fact that Reg was found in the last issue in the secondary structure on the property. But they turns out he was there willingly. He was brought in by Walter to help set this whole place up, and it's an experiment. It's not even the in-game play for Walter. And we're told that Walter is not an alien, that he's not of this earth, but we really don't have words to describe what exactly he is. But if everybody doesn't get in line and play their part and work through this properly, they can all be scrapped, and it can all just start over and with a new set of people, basically. So they're all expendable, even to Walter, even though we found out they can't die. They're not allowed to die, all this and that. But it's wicked. It's just, my brain's just churning in circles on this.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool play because, like, it just makes it feel very, like, constructed from the beginning, that, like, he has to have a team of people that, like, aren't going to kill each other, aren't going to turn on each other. Like, he needs to put together this special group of people. It kind of reminds me of, like, Invader Zim in the sense, like, it kind of makes Walter seem like I guess, like a lesser creature, I don't want to say, like, lesser than, but, like, I guess, like, almost more honorable. The way Superman, like, in some portrayals, like, he was sent here kind of, like, to prepare the planet, or like Goku was sent here to prepare the planet, like, so many times we've seen these people that were sent to prepare the planet for something, and they failed at it, or they just, like, fall too in love with humans, and so I thought that was kind of an interesting way to take, like, something more serious like this and less, like, cartoony and fun, that, like, Walter kind of, like, fell in love with humans too much, and now he can't make scientific choices, I guess, because he's kind of not unbiased anymore.
So do you think the world has been destroyed, or do you think it was all an act?
Yeah, I mean, this one definitely gave me the impression that it's more of like almost like a holographic thing or something. In the sense, like, this is a test group. How are they going to make sure that they have the perfect humans? They need to be able to reset. So like,
Yeah.
why destroy everything? Why not just convince these different test groups that like they're in a simulation that makes them believe that the world has ended, to see how they would respond to it before they actually kill off all of the rest of the humans?
That's about where I'm at with it. Between that, the fixed stars in the sky, and the fact that Reg literally came up with the design for destroying the world in a dorm room a decade earlier, that Walter just happened to be listening to him talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
think it's a simulation.
it's also going to be interesting moving forward because we know that Walter has the ability to kind of Men in Black flashy thing everybody briefly, and that happened
Yeah.
to them all. Like when they were all getting all this information from Reg, that it's not too late to save themselves, and if they're not careful how they do it, they can all die because they're not necessarily needed, and because they're just an experiment at this, and they all get flashy things and put back in the house. So like, it's going to be interesting moving forward from this point where we're in the know beyond the characters, because up until this point we've only known as much as the characters have known, and we're kind of experiencing it with them. But now we have more information than the characters in the book as it moves forward. So it's going to be like the second half is going to be from a different perspective as the readers ourselves. So I thought that was a cool little way to do it. They're in the Matrix,
It comes back around.
Yeah, right back where we started. But that was the last one I had on my list for this week. You got anything else you want to hit on or touch on?
No, that's all.
All right. Well, tomorrow's Monday. I got a video coming up with pretty much, as Comics Journey puts it, a look at me video, just some stuff that came in that I was opening up. So I'm trying to change the format of some of the stuff I do slowly but surely, try to get some different stuff on there. So Wednesday, I want to try to start this series called a Comic Close-Up, and focus on one specific thing and try to actually give an informative, detailed video. It's entertaining at the same time, and it requires me to do a little bit more camera tricks than I'm used to. So I'm really looking forward to having that ready and getting that ready. Tomorrow starts, well, I'll be off Tuesday, but tomorrow is really kicking off the holiday week. So it's kind of crappy timing on my part trying to do it all at the last second here, but I think I can pull it off and have one this week. And hopefully I'll be able to do that every Wednesday moving forward for a while, because I think it'll be fun. And it's something that I enjoy the idea of and everything. So be sure to check that out. Let me know what y'all think about it and everything. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I appreciate everyone popping in here tonight. I hope y'all have a good night. I hope to see you all next week. Before we go, let me give a big thank you to all the channel members. There's a lot of people on this list that put out content themselves. If you see any names on there you're not familiar with, check them out. Look them up on Instagram, YouTube. Give them a follow back. Awesome community members. And I definitely appreciate y'all, all the channel members that are entered in that higher tier, entered to win that monthly Legion loot box sponsored by Big Time Collectibles. I'm going to try also this busy week to get some pictures up and everything of what I'll be putting into that box for the next month's giveaway. And a big shout out again to the Augusta Book Exchange, where I pick up all these comics that I review each week. And a big shout out to Justin's Comics over on Instagram. If you're looking to get anything clean or pressed, be sure to hit him up. Use that promo code We Are Legion. So until next time, guys, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.